nice to see you. Wow.
There was no music. We were going to do the bump.
Yeah, you should see us do the bump. We're like really into it.
We have so much to talk about. First of all, what was it like growing up? I know you're the middle of three kids of Warren Buffett. Grew up in Omaha, Nebraska. And what was it like having Warren Buffett as a father?
Well, first of all, he's the typical middle child syndrome.
I've suffered a lot.
Really?
Yeah, a lot. You know, when we grew up, we didn't know that any different. Honestly, when I probably was later in junior high school, my dad started getting some, you know, recognition around Omaha, and when I was in high school, they started getting, like, maybe the first Forbes article came out, or that, you know, something. But it really wasn't much different growing up until we were pretty late in high school.
You love farming, and was it your love of farming that got you interested in the issue of hunger?
Most of my adult life I've been involved in agriculture, and the truth is a lot of hunger is, you know, the result of not having productivity in a lot of parts of the world, especially where there's small, poor farmers. So it's kind of a natural thing for me to get involved in hunger when we started to develop the foundation.
And how did you two hook up? In the old-fashioned sense of the term.
I drove that, by the way.
I know. Actually, we have a picture of you in a tractor because I know you guys spent some time together, even at a farm. And how did you guys connect?
Yes. Well, we connected through a friend of ours who knew, this was many years ago, who knew I was very interested in the immigration issues. And Howard was as well, and we were both approaching it from a guest worker, farm worker issue. I mean, we really wanted to understand and become more literate on it. And so he was going to Arizona, and I said I wanted to tag along. And so we met in Arizona. We did a border ride, and we talked to farm workers, and we talked to farmers on the United States side, on the Mexico side.
What was it that sparked your interest in that specific?
You know, it's interesting because I'm very interested in farm workers, and I'm a big farm worker advocate. And so through that, people don't really understand where food comes from. I mean, there's an all-time high interest in food, in what you eat, organic and gluten-free and soy, and I don't want to eat that, and da-da-da-da. But there's no interest in where the food comes from or who picks it. And so we are the most well-fed nation in the world, and the people who feed us go to bed hungry.
And it's not really a question of supply, it's a question of access. And I was interested to read that there's so much food that is produced here that is deemed not appropriate for consumption, and ergo so much waste.
I live in Decatur, Illinois, where there's the largest corn plant in the world. Okay, they grind 600,000 bushels of corn every day. That's a lot of corn. And at the same time, every Thanksgiving we go up and do something at a school that has 92 to 94% of the kids that qualify for a reduced or free lunch program. I mean, the irony in our country is amazing. And the truth is, to think that 50 million people in this country are food insecure, which means they don't know where their next meal is going to come from. I mean, that should be a scandal in this country, but it's not. And I think part of it is awareness. Part of it is it doesn't affect me, you know, that syndrome.
What else can be done, do you think, to solve the problem other than awareness? I mean, because once people know about the problem, I think so many of us feel powerless to do anything.
Well, but hunger is one of the, I hate to use it, say it this way, but use this term, but hunger is one of the easiest things you can do something about in this country. You can go down and volunteer at your food bank distribution, you can volunteer at your soup kitchen, you can volunteer to help deliver meals on Meals on Wheels programs. There's a lot of things. I mean, the whole approach to trying to address hunger in this country depends a huge amount on volunteerism. So, I mean, everybody sitting here today can do something.
And I think that's the great thing about Howard's book is it's called 40 Chances, but it's 40 different stories about, you know, Howard's journey, but it also talks about how, you know, people look at us and they say, you know, oh, you have to be rich and famous to be a philanthropist or to make a difference, and you really, really don't. These stories in here are about some ordinary people who did extraordinary things and are still doing extraordinary things. And volunteerism is definitely a key to a lot of it.
And it's wonderful because I know it's a New York Times bestseller, so people are interested. And as you said, if awareness is the first, you know, challenge in dealing with this problem, at least people care and they're becoming more aware because of your book.
I will tell you that almost everybody sitting in this room has somebody in their neighborhood, believe it or not, that has some issue with hunger. And it may not be a severe issue, it may be a minor issue, but it's amazing. It's hidden in this country. the culture in this country is not one where people want to admit that they need help or that they have hunger.
So it's so shameful in this country to admit it. Well, I really admire, Howard, what you're doing and bringing attention to this issue. And Eva has always been so philanthropic. I think you just got your master's in Chicano Studies, by the way, last May. And I know you do so much for so many. So, really, so important and really impressive. Thank you both so much for coming in and talking to us about your work. And by the way, everyone in the audience is going home with a copy of Howard's book, What He Gifted. And if you'd like to learn more about the work Eva and Howard are doing, you can head to our website. We'll be right back.